Real quick, microplastics. You had mentioned it. I listened to this interview with someone, I think, who helped design, I don't know, someone in Silicon Valley, but was working on microplastics and technologies to remove microplastics from the atmosphere. What's
Interesting.
yeah, what's your take on, not take, what's your perspective on microplastics and like help me better understand it?
So with plastics in general, the reason why they were so lauded when I believe in like the middle of the 20th century is because was how durable they were, right? You no longer had to rely on glass, which could break, or wood, which could rot. You could put things in a plastic container and it would be durable, and it was its durability which also led to people having a pushback against it, because they said this red Solo cup is not going to decompose anytime soon.
Yeah.
Right? That wrapper that you throw out of your car is going to be there for the next 100 years. And of course, it does break down, but not into anything that is actually renewable, right? So like if you take polystyrene, it's going to break down into smaller units of still polystyrene. That's the microplastics that you talked about. So it's just like the really tiny fragments of the styrofoam cup that they're now floating around and maybe in our blood. Trying to cleanse that from the environment that might, I mean, I know there's a lot of skepticism about science because it brought us into this conundrum, but a lot of people are trying to find solutions to right what has been wronged. And I believe people are trying to make these meshes. Some of my colleagues at Northwestern have talked about these called MOFs, metal organic frameworks, which could help block or trap these tiny compounds. And I think there is technology, nothing with microplastics, but more with pollutants. I believe in certain cities, there's a special paint that you can just put on like the side of a building or like on a column in a freeway, and it will just suck up the carbon dioxide or the nitrogen oxides that are just floating around. And it's just like, all you need to do is just like put in a fresh coat of paint, and it'll just absorb the pollutants, and then every few months. So I'm optimistic, seeing what we've been able to do with those pollutants absorbing paints, and also with solar panels. There's been a huge incremental increase to solar panel technology. It used to be not very efficient. We're getting there. Okay. So I'm pretty hopeful about cleansing microplastics from the air and the environment.